Could John Wick survive Jurassic Park? What if the world's deadliest assassin replaced the big game hunter Muldoon in the first Jurassic Park? Would he escape? Would he survive? Or would he be eaten alive? Let's find out. In his world, John Wick is the most deadly man in the world. An excellent fighter in close quarters combat, skilled with nearly every type of firearm or melee weapon, can improvise with anything he sees in his environment, extremely ruthless and thorough in execution, and adapts to foes of different strengths and skills. But what comes with being a super assassin, if not increased strength, speed, and durability? John Wick has walked off things that would absolutely massacre normal people, like getting struck by cars repeatedly and just walking it off. He can effortlessly break necks, snap spines, and, more impressively, shatter bulletproof glass, and also take being smashed through that bulletproof glass. Both those showings calculate high into the wall levels of energy, well over 2 million joules of energy output. Wick did this when already worn down and tired after the sheer onslaught of John Wick 3. So at his peak, likely even higher. Seems about right, since he shrugged off an explosion that destroyed an entire house. Now, what threats reside on Isla Nublar at this time? Well, there's a few. One is Rexy the Tyrannosaurus, who we've covered a couple of times on this channel, as being far more powerful than any real animal is possibly capable of. She is similar in strength and durability to the Indominus Rex, who shrugs off heavy gunfire and even rocket launcher explosions. Nothing in Wick's arsenal is possibly capable of putting Rexy down. But he really doesn't need to. Since in this scenario we're saying that he works at InGen, he would probably already know that if he stays still, the T-Rex wouldn't really bother him that much. The more prevalent and deadly threats are the Raptors and the Dilophosaurus. Now, unlike most characters, I don't think Wick would really underestimate how deadly the Raptors are. I think he would take their threat absolutely seriously. Now, a big factor in this is John Wick's speed. Wick has pretty consistent above human level speed, like borderline subsonic at times, dodging bullets, catching arrows, that sort of thing, with even the lowest estimates putting him at 25 meters per second. A straight chase would be suicidal. The Raptors are stated to run 50 to 60 miles per hour, comparable to a cheetah. Wick's fast, he's not that fast. But this incredible reaction and combat speed could allow him to dodge many hits from the Raptors, and we know that they are very vulnerable to bullets. Being up close with the Raptors, though, is likely the last thing Wick would ever want to do. People really underestimate the Jurassic Park Raptors because of their light weight. What a surprise. But no, these things are incredibly dangerous. During 3, which, to be fair, are more evolved raptors, it's mentioned that a Bengal tiger would last maybe 10 seconds against them. 3 of them casually tear cows to shreds in seconds for dinner. They ripped through their metallic fencing. They bite as hard as alligators. And their claws can even tear into the bulletproof, incredibly durable hides of the megatheropods, cutting into Rexy, the Indominus Rex, and in the original script, the Spinosaurus too. The Raptors can also fight and maul each other without instantly killing each other. Oh, and just a pair of them were enough to terrify an entire herd of hadrosaurs, easily dozens of times their own body mass. This presents an interesting game of cat and mouse, because both can kill one another. Since John is in Muldoon's place, he should generally know about the Raptors, but even Muldoon underestimated their intelligence despite being terrified of them, and considering them one of the most dangerous creatures to ever walk the earth. Wick may make the mistake of assuming they're just animals, and so they can be dealt with easily. If this happens, there's a very real chance he will die. Alternatively, He is much more armed and carrying a great deal more firepower, of which a few good shots should kill any of the raptors with ease. We would probably not get a scene like Clever Girl though, because Wick does not hesitate to fire. We should also point out there are 3 velociraptors on the island, meaning there is a chance that an ambush could be set up. Likely not in the exact same fashion as happened in the film, but in the thick jungle environment, it seems likely enough. Perhaps the most dangerous creature, to John specifically, would be the venomous Dilophosaurus, of which there are at least several juveniles on the island, and it is implied there are larger adults, with adults, as shown in Jurassic World, being as large as the velociraptors, and being able to spit their venom from quite a distance away. John Wick is relentless and ruthless, but there have been times he's been caught off guard. The Dilo's frill and spitting venom may catch him by surprise. If the venom does land, he will lose his sight, and of course, this would leave him pretty much helpless. So, there are very real dangers. Ones that Wick can survive, but could also kill him if he underestimates them. That is, of course, unless he tries to fight Rexy. I don't think he would be dumb enough to do that. It's possible, though, so I guess we'll see. I do see it more likely than not that he will take down the Raptors. The Dilophosaurus, though, I think is the much bigger threat because John would not really know what to expect from it. There are much more raptors shown later on in material like Jurassic Park the game, which is of dubious canon, and the book implies that they also were breeding, but there was also many more velociraptor to begin with in the book. Now, we could just leave off with that, but I think that'd be rather boring and short. So what if John was hired to accompany the team heading to Isla Sorna? Well, we can comfortably say that there are far, far more dangerous animals on Isla Sorna. We don't know when the Spinosaurus was brought there, but it's possibly here. 2 large raptor packs are known to exist, Buck and Doe, along with their son. Ceratosaurus is also known to inhabit the island. And perhaps the most underrated are the venomous compies, which come in swarms. So let's deal with the big guys first. The big guys, like Spinosaurus, are essentially bulletproof. How do we know? Well, the mercenaries in JP3 brought with them pretty heavy fire. And yet, when we see the Spino, he's not riddled with bullet holes. The same likely applies to T-Rex, especially since by the time of Jurassic World, there are special guns used to try to hunt T-Rex. We can expect the same for the T-Rex, considering, again, in the future they have special high-caliber guns meant to try to take down T-Rex, and they don't work since Rexy is clearly not filled with holes. So the big guys are basically bulletproof, so a confrontation is not wise. John's an assassin, though, so he would probably have some of the best chances of actually hiding from these creatures. The problem, of course, come from the medium creatures. While again, raptors are still incredibly vulnerable to bullets, there's a lot more of them, and these are wild, smarter raptors, with the ones from JP3 being even stated to have evolved. So there is a lot higher chance of John getting killed. But if he finds the group, then, well, he has a much better chance of surviving, just because, well, more to pick off. Shooting something as small and nimble as compies would be quite difficult, even for someone like John Wick. And that said, he knows how to use anything as a weapon, so rocks, knives, etc. are also potential options. Getting in close, though, with creatures that can give you venomous bites is probably not a great idea. But, if John doesn't literally wander into a swarm of compies, this likely won't happen. Isla Sorna is thus way more dangerous, but it's possible John can in fact pull through. JP3 is kinda the same situation if he comes with the mercenaries, although that means that there's a fairly high chance he dies to the Spinosaurus early on. And we know that that bastard is incredibly petty, so Wick might meet Dinosaur Wick Now you may think that coming back a fourth time would be insane, but I mean, this man is one of the most dangerous murderers in the entire planet. I don't think sane is really on his registry. Now, depending on where he is and when stuff is happening, he could die or he could live. If he is at all anywhere near where the Indominus Rex is during her escape, there's a very, very, very high likelihood he will not survive. So this is probably where he ceases. Unless he's nowhere near Indominus Rex, or pulls the same sort of stunts that Owen did, which he should be smart enough to do, if not vastly, vastly, vastly more intelligent at. Hoskin's little raptor stunt would probably be stopped by Wick and Owen together. Until, of course, Indom showed just how smart and dangerous she really is. Wick's got some insane willpower and plot armor, so if he's not directly in front of Indominus, there's a pretty good chance he'll survive her just rampaging around him. Say in the aviary scene or the fight with Rexy. This is where we'll stop our little adventure though, because, well, I don't see him being involved with any of the Lockwood Mansion shenanigans, or coming to poach the dinosaurs. Dominion's also a catastrophic fucking mess of a film, so I don't know how I would incorporate John into it. Mostly because the film doesn't do a good job of anything, really, other than showing that the Giga would beat up the Indominus really bad. As for Rebirth, that's so far divorced from when John was taking these missions, I really don't see him doing it, unless, I don't know, Distortus Beluga head ass over here, like, flicked his dog too hard or something. So, can John Wick survive Jurassic Park? Yes. But also no. No if he decides to fight any of the big things that can tank bullets to the face. Yes if he plays his cards right when confronting the highly intelligent social raptors, because they can die to guns pretty good. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.